All right, so I'm going to talk about the Fornebu Metro Line. So it's a billion project, and we have no drawings, almost. I'll come back to that. I'm Signe. I'm a digital collaboration leader. I work in COWI. So the content today is I'm just going to briefly talk about Norwegian model-based project, how we ended up with no drawings. Then I'm going to talk about the Fornebu project, and then the next steps. So just briefly about my company, I don't think we have any project in Croatia. We're an engineering and architectural company. We work with infrastructure, buildings and industry, and renewable energy. So we're based mostly in Scandinavia, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. But we have also departments in the United States, Canada, and then we follow our customers to where the projects are. So if it's in Taiwan or in Africa or Croatia maybe. So let's see about Norwegian model-based projects. So the BIM use is rising in Europe. If you see in 2009, it was around 10%. That was at the time I tried to get the construction industry to see that BIM is the new thing. That was really difficult. But it's been keeping rising, and hopefully it's just going to go one way. So the Nordics has the highest BIM use in Europe. I'm not sure why exactly, but I don't know. I guess we are keen to use new technology or something. So Norway, Finland, Sweden. So hopefully Croatia will come on this list eventually. So but some of the reason why we have a large BIM adoption in Norway is our public owners. So in the early 2000s, Statsbygg, this is like the government-owned building owners, they said that all our projects need to use BIM. In 2010, they said that it's mandatory for all our projects to have models. And then we have Statens vegvesen Nye Veier, that's the companies that build roads. And then Bane NOR, that's a rail company. So all these actors that say that, okay, we have to use BIM, we have to use open formats, IFC, and they demand it on the project. So when the client demands it, it's easier, for the industry to be lifted. And so why do they do this? Well, our rail company, Bane NOR, they have done some research and see that the design cost has been reduced by 19%. And then our road company, they reduced change orders by 60%. So if you see traditional project versus model-based projects, and, well, who doesn't want the change orders to go down? Then we have the Norwegian infra projects. They are more on budget and time. So the average cost runs goes down. The share of projects with delays goes down. So it's all benefits, but still so difficult. Still we cling on to those drawings, they're safe. But I'm going to show you that you can actually do a project quite large with no drawings. So I'm going to talk about Fornebu Banen. So it's based in Oslo. Norway is like way up north. As I was saying to somebody yesterday that I haven't seen the sun for around 3 weeks. So it's quite dark now. So this is Oslo. This is where we're going to build the new subway. So it's going to add on to the existing subway. And when I first entered this project, a colleague of mine, she said, "Welcome to the project that has everything." And I was like, okay. But she was right, because we do actually have everything. We have tunnels, we have rails, we have roads, we have bridges, we have buildings, we have a shop for the subways to be fixed. So it's basically everything, and I will show you that we use all the softwares as well. So the project scope, quite easy. Build the 7.7 kilometer tunnels with 6 stations and technical infrastructure along its path. So the client is Oslo Municipality Fornebu Banen. The design period, we started in 2017 and still going on. Construction period, we started in 2020, and that was the first blast. And the total cost is around 2.4 billion euros. So it's quite large, I would say. We have 19 different contracts. 6 different architect teams, and it's a design-build contract. So, but the path is not straight. So in Norway, we have a lot of clay. I'm not sure you have it there. We have something called quick clay. That's clay, but if you move it just a bit, it just, floats off. So we need to go into the rock. So that's why the stations are going up and down. So the lowest one is, I think it's 45 meters below ground. So it's quite steep. So this is 6 stations. And then, as I said, no drawings. Almost. The little almost is you need some 2D details. We still need drawings for approval for the road company and the Oslo municipality. Hopefully, they will receive models in the coming years, but still. So, how did we do it? We had an amazing client. So the client's vision and strategy is innovative collaboration creates the subway of the future. And the use of drawing must be reduced to absolute minimum for all phases of the project and also towards approval authorities. So when the client says that the use of drawings must be reduced to minimum, that really helps us during the project when people are screaming, "We want drawings!" And we can say, no, this is a strategy, this is the vision of our client. We must do what our client wants. So BIM is the essential source of all information in our project. And we use these digital models actively in all decision making. So we have set up an organization. As I said, I come from the engineering company. So I am the blue box, the digital collaboration leader. And then I have a team that helps and supports me. So I have 2 BIM managers. I have 8 BIM coordinators. I have a guy that just fixes all the scripts and all the automating. I have a GIS coordinator. I have VDC leaders. And then also I have the supporting functions for the softwares. So there are so many hundred people using Revit, but we have one person that is responsible for the main Revit templates and so on. And same with Civil 3D. And as I said, we have all the softwares. So it takes a village. We also have set up kind of the BIM framework in the project. So we have the strategy, the goals for BIM and related processes at the top. And then on the tactical level, we have BIM execution plans, overall guidelines and process diagrams. And then in the operational level, we have digital production manuals, like how-tos in all the softwares, how is the mechanical engineers to export his model, all these descriptions. But I'm going to talk about the BIM execution plans, mostly. So it's in the tactical level. So what we did was we created 3 different BIM execution plans. One for design, one for construction, and one for handover. So I'm going to focusing on construction, because we are in the middle of it, going on 5 years. So this is split into 4 parts. So we have common decisions on BIM, then we have some general specifications we have for each discipline, and also what we want back from the contractor. So if you go to, I'm sorry, it's in Norwegian, but you can use Google Translate on some of it. But it says what kind of parameters are we to use in the model for all the models. This is also when the contractor comes with models to us, if they have an elevator, an escalator, or whatever. And it's model technical information like point zero, how to name your model, and so on. So this is for everybody in the project, not just the engineering company. Then we have the general part. We have the S status. So in Norway, it's mostly common to use model maturity index. Level of development, some call it. It's just a way of seeing of how mature your element in the model is. So this is on all the elements in the model to see if it's just put in there as a draft or if it's ready to be built from. It also specifies that models are seen as drawings. Was very important because all our Norwegian contracts are still, they just mention drawings. So we had to define that models are equal to drawings when it comes to legal stuff. Then we have the as-built demands from the contractor. So enable for us to create really nice models to hand over to the next contract or as a digital twin, we need feedback from the contractor. Did you build it as we designed, But we don't need scan of everything. Maybe sometimes it's enough with, coordinate. Sometimes you just need some scan with some, marking on or whatever. So we specified in what cases do we need what kind of feedback and when. And then this is the most exciting part. We had each discipline to explain how is the contractor supposed to build from my model. So both construction, MEP, electrical, architects, everybody were to explain their discipline, their models. For example, the architect here is that if you click on a flooring that has sloping, you need to look at that parameter because it doesn't really show correctly in IFC, and so on. So this is the largest document, and it was different for each contract and so on. But it really helps the contractor to understand what we have been thinking for the last 5 years. We also have a common data environment set up. So we have Teams, SharePoint. We're still in BIM 360. For those of you who knows it, everybody is on ACC by now, but we started, as I said, in 2017. So we set up in BIM 360, and I will show you the reason why we haven't merged yet. We have Trimble NovaPoint Quadri, we have a file server, we have BIM Colab Cloud for BCF issues, Eurofis Asset Database, and it's a program called Omega 365, which is the client's common data environment. And also we have, the data flow. I think some of you is also going to show similar to this, that you need to manage the data flows between all these softwares, and it's easily done. So as I said, we have all the softwares. So we have ArcGIS FME for existing buildings and map data. We have Revit for the architects, the structure, MIP, fire safety, doors. We have NovaPoint Civil 3D for electrical, water, sewage, rail, geology, and terrain. And then we have Tekla also for the tunnel structure. And it's all geolocated. In the Euref 89. So we had some BIM viewers. This is an ongoing project for a long time, so you need, it's going to change along its path. So we had Navisworks and Solibri. Solibri was mostly used by the design company. It's a really easy BIM viewer to use. But then we had to have Navisworks in addition because Solibri doesn't handle DVGs, because we have some DVGs as well. But then Navisworks, that's a desktop software, you need to download files and you need to upload, download, and we had the whole routine going on during every weekend, and 1/4 of the weekend it failed somehow. So we were like, okay, we need a cloud BIM viewer that handles our models because they are huge. So we went to Novorenter, and it's a cloud-based viewer. We easily connected our models through BIM 360, and it really works better as a part of the common data environment because it connects to a lot of the other softwares, and it's cloud-based, so you can have it on your phone or tablet or whatever, and it handles a lot of file formats. So just to give you a quick demonstration. So all our models are split into stations because it's too long and it's different contract as well. So but it runs smoothly. You can section. What's nice about this BIM viewer is that you can have 3D or 2D. So you get like sections, and you can have 2D, and you can have measurements. So it really works. And you have all the information. So as you can see here, we have a lot of parameters. We have a lot of information in the model explaining how to use it. So this is my project. This is a bit old picture. So as of now, we actually only have 10 meters left of the tunnel. But this is a public viewer. You can go in and see how it's going. This was mostly for the neighbors. As I said, this goes below ground, so it goes below a lot of houses. And you know, people want to know what happens when you shake their house, because we were blasting our way through. There was no point on using a drilling machine. It's quite difficult in Norway. We have like hard rock. So we also have the GIS viewer, where we put in all existing housing. We've been following, you know, a lot of the houses to see if the cracks develop. And we also go below like a sculpture park with really famous sculptures, and we didn't want them to be, you know, broken. So we needed to follow up, and that we did with the GIS viewer. And it's also, you can see when things are going to happen. You can see all the stations in 3D. And it's been a really nice tool for us to use to see, you know, how this blends in with the existing infrastructure. We also go below a river. So it's, yeah, it's quite interesting. So here you can see the timeline. So in 2022, we were blasting our way. And then in 2029, we're going to finish. So we have around 1,200 different models, I would say, from 20 disciplines. It's BIM, GIS, point cloud data, mostly IFC, some DVG, GIS, and so on. It's around 10 million unique objects, and 10 billion polygons, so you understand the magnitude. It's a massive size. So it used to be 12 NVD files, and now it's around 9 Novrender models. So just some stats, 198 project-specified parameters. Yep, so that's why I have 8 BIM coordinators to check all these models and to help me. So soon to be 100,000 IFC objects, or 1 million, I mean. As I said, active members on BIM 360. This is our permission overview in BIM 360. This is one of the reasons why we haven't migrated to ACC yet. Maybe we will, maybe not. But there's a lot of people. There are so many people involved. We do have 2D details, but we also have detailed models. So what we did is, you know, some of these things, it's not a point to have it repeated into the model. We have detailed models with reference to what detail are you to use where. But we also have some 2D details. You know, something is just better on 2D. But it's not, all of the details are not separated drawings. We have like one document saying all the details. And this way, it helps you save time in the QA process. And also, this is for the contractor, you know, for them to understand where is this detail, as you would kind of on a drawing, you know. As I said, we have specified to the contractor the as-built. We receive scan back, and then we compare it to our design model to see, okay, did you build as we designed? And as you can see, it's fairly precise, I would say. And this helps us if this, you know, if it's not similar, then we can update our models, because, as I said, we have so many contracts, and one contract is following the next. contract and so on. So you need a foundation to build on. So this was on Sunday. This is the largest site. So this is where the trains are going to be staying overnight to be fixed. There's a graffiti remover hall, and it's really huge. I think there are 8 cranes or something. Something like 16 football fields. I think it's the largest concrete project in Northern Europe at the moment. And then, as I said, this is our kind of model maturity index, or how far have we come. So as you can see, there's a lot of green. That means that it's ready to be built from. The purple one are finished, and so this is all our contracts, all our enterprises. So what are the results? We've managed to have a large BIM adoption in our project. As I said, 985 people, or probably over 1,000, I would guess. They all use the model. Even if I have Tom, a colleague of mine, he is now 71. Even he is in the federated model, spinning around, I didn't understand the Croatian, but I understood the Generation C, the Gen X, the millennials. Some excuses, we have to have drawings because I'm too old for this BIM shit. I have proved that it's possible. We have saved several thousand hours per year through automated, updated models. And we have improved the quality. I mean, the quality of these BIM models are really high, because they have to be if you're going to build from it, And it's leading to fewer building mistakes out on site. So, where to next? I would say that our success criteria is that we have motivated and experienced project team. We have a client that define the BIM use. We have tools, one federated model for everybody to see, and since now it's cloud-based, it's really easy access as well. And then we have very well communication with the contractor. We have all the contractors as well in Oslo, I guess, on different contracts. So we need to have really nice communication when they say, okay, we cannot build from your model, we need this and this information. We go back and we're like, okay, we can do that. Here you go. And then, is this a digital twin? I would say yes, but a project, it lives for 50 to 100 years after construction phase. So I think the industry should plan for the maintenance phase, to utilize our models in the maintenance phase, for the janitor to have an easier life, I guess. So hopefully this will be the future, that we have no drawings also in the maintenance phase. So that was my large project summed up in 20 minutes. If you want to know more or connect, just feel free to reach out or just come and talk to me.